In terms of meals for dementia residents and dementia units, there's seasonal menus filled out by either the power of attorney, and if friends and family aren't available, then the clinical manager or charge nurse will do that. Now, there's many different things that affect a person's appetite in a dementia unit, and of course history comes into it. Your mother may well have not been a good eater lifelong anyway, but when the person comes into a dementia unit, there's additional problems. It's crowded for a start. It's difficult to eat in a crowded, noisy, strange environment. They may well be depressed or anxious, really anxious, because they're in the dementia unit, and all this plays havoc with your emotions and with your gut and with your eating and your digestion. So one by one, things need to be worked through step by step to enable your mother to work through all this, and you work through that with her so that she can have a more harmonious time eating at the mealtime in the dining room with the rest of the residents. Now, everyone's going to have a different perspective on this, as is the case with all things at a dementia unit. There's the staff who are serving, there's you and you knowing what your mother likes eating, and it's your mother as well and how she is on the day with the eating. So it's actually a really good idea to come in and have some meals at the dementia unit with your mother and the other 2 or 3 ladies she's sitting with at the dining table, so you can see for yourself. Rather than hearing about it from the nurse or the charge nurse or the clinical manager, you can see for yourself how her appetite is, what she's eating, what her interests are in eating, and how she's getting on with the ladies in managing the environment. It's far better to be there in person. So when you get there, when you're having the meal with your mother, you can see that the meal portions are far too big. And when she sees a lot of food, she just gets put off. So that's one thing that you can note down to talk to the charge nurse about. And then you note that she's being served very rich, creamy, chocolatey desserts with lots of caramel on it, when she's never been a sweet person. You know, she's never liked sweets. It's always fruit salad, maybe a little bit of ice cream. And even though in the menus you thought that you'd written that down, things can get confused, misplaced, whatever. So note that, again, put that forward to the charge nurse. And anything else of note. So if you can see, for example, that your mother is really finding that it's too crowded, too noisy, too challenging, there are options, minimal options, and that option is that your mother gets moved to a dining table on the outer rim of the dining room, because in the centre of the dining room near the servery, it really is noisy, clattery, crowded, nurses coming and going, carers with the plates of food and trolleys and medications and noise and conversation, and often also the noise of cutlery is really noisy when it gets thrown into the dishwasher or the drawers, or even trays can fall or crash. Yeah, it's a lot. So it's really, the furthest away you are from that, the better. And also if your mother can be facing and looking at the dining room rather than back to it, because if she can see what's going on, at least she knows who's talking, she can see where the noise is coming from. It's much easier to cope with than it happening from behind, and you just get a shock, you know, when there's a loud noise for whatever reason you don't know. So these are ways to be able to modify it. If she's really having a hard time and you can see, oh, she's just so escalated, you can't really see any options to be able to help her much, the one option which always works, of course, is take her home for the day. Say a Sunday when you're not working, pick her up before lunch, so she has lunch at your place, quietly, slowly, time to digest it, maybe dinner as well, so that's 2 meals out that she's being able to eat in peace, and then it just gives a bit more reserve and resilience for going back into the place and being able to manage, hopefully. I mean, even if it's every week is fabulous, every week for half a day out, it's perfect, or even every couple of weeks, just so there's some break in the routine. and this really helps a lot in terms of being able to establish eating patterns and minimizing the stress factor, so it's not there constantly all the time, and she's got some reprieve and relief from the situation, as she will be finding it if all these compounding factors are of concern for her. So Residents' Voice, Residents' Rise, I've written about all these topics in here. Please subscribe on Amazon, those books. Please subscribe. Thank you for your views and support. Please, all right, thank you.